So we are into our growth series, which is after our YSS. So we are doing, there are 5 growth tools: prayer, community, service, scripture, and sacrament. So it will be presented in that order. So for the next week, so we'll have mystery speaker every week, which you might know. Okay, so to make it more exciting, right? So prayer is one of our growth tools, right? Okay. Okay, so last week, if some of you all know that we have a parish event that was ongoing, we have this speaker, Sherry Woodell, that came and spoke to us about a fundamental question that took her by surprise, and she was helping people to discern about their gifts in the church. So she asked this question, right, which is, what is your personal relationship with God? So she came to this particular person, which was very interesting. She was the head of a big group in the church, and she asked her this question. So, you know, the person was trying to think of an answer then, but you know, she came and tell her at one point of time that I don't have a personal relationship with God. So Sherry was very surprised. How can it be? You know, you have to read her and been studying for years, you know. And she tried to ask many different points. And after 1 hour, she realized that, oh no, this woman doesn't have a relationship with God. You know, and it is very surprising and strange to us, you know, like, how can a person without a relationship with God, you know, be in the church serving for so long? Well, you know, if you can see, it's not that difficult to understand. Basically, sometimes we have treated our service as a job, you know. We don't have a particular good relationship with our bosses. We do a job, right? We don't need to love our bosses. We do our job, right? We just do the job. So, what do we get from a church since it doesn't pay us money, right? We can do it for a variety of reasons. So we can do it like, things like commitment, you know, because our friends is there, because, you know, just want to feel good about ourselves. So, without a relationship with God, we can still be in the church serving, but serving our own personal interests, you know, our own pride, you know, and things like that. So, if you're not careful, and I was quite worried because I was like, oh no, do I have a personal relationship with God? Why am I here, you know, looking at all these people so many weeks, you know? Am I deluding myself with all these things? So I'm still asking myself that question, right? So, but one of the ways we can understand is that we need to go beyond lip service. You know, we need to not just go through the motions. You know, like some Sundays just come like a zombie and do the motions. You know, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. You know, just say the thing and mumble in our mouth, but it doesn't go through anywhere. It's just like, you know, it's a reaction. You know, like, the Lord is with you, and you do with your spirit. You know, it's even worse sometimes, and also with you. You know, and anytime in the past, when the priest will say, the Lord is with you. Anytime, then you will also say, and also with you. You know, it's like, the priest tried it before, you know, it's like really a reactionary, it's like never go through the brain and all. So, it's like, see, you guys are really zombies, right? He told us at one point of time. And it might be true, you see. If not for the mass changes, you know, it's like, people are forced to go beyond their habits. They might really be, you know, in a way, zombies. So, we can't be spiritual zombies, you know. You have to have a relationship with God. You know, you shouldn't be staying and, you know, like just coming to church just like, you know, one of the people. We shouldn't inherit our religion just because our parents were Catholics or our friends were Catholics. You know, we have to go towards the heart level. So, our God, you know, as we spoke before, our God is somebody who is a personal God. He's not a powerful being that, you know, just pull the string to control us. He's not somebody who actually throw us there, right, and let us be. You know, you read the scriptures, you know, it's like in the Garden of Eden, he walks with Adam and Eve. He's not there just to, okay, let's see how you all do, you know. We send wild animals and attack you and see how you do yourself. And you're like, okay, you have this way, right? You see how his friend, you know, Moses, right? When Moses died, you know, God buried his friend. You see, imagine God burying somebody like this. Imagine the kitten died, and God came down and buried the kitten. No, unthinkable, right? Strange, right? It's not something that we understand, but no, sometimes God wants to have a relationship with us. And Moses, during his life, he spent a great deal with the Lord, and he was there with the Lord, and God actually came down and buried him. And until this day, nobody knows where Moses is buried. And Jeremiah, right? Jeremiah, you know that when God told him, he knew it true and true. No, it's written in the scriptures, right? So, and also, like Jesus, he came down and at one point he told us, right? Come to me, all you that is weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I'll give you rest. Right? If God is impersonal, he say, okay, you just have to do this job, right? And I want it by tomorrow, okay? So our bosses, I want it by yesterday, right? Don't do it. So it's not like that, he's like, come to me and I'll give you rest and all that. So, and like us now, right? He's calling us to be with him, to pray, to come to him and to come to him and to enjoy this time with him. So we know that one of the best ways, so one of the best ways to gauge our relationship with God, right, is what is our spiritual life? Okay, what is my spiritual life with God? How do I speak to God? How do I converse with God? So prayer is like conversation. It's not something that it's not something that prayer is not something that just it's not just blabbing to God. All the things I want. I want a pony. I want a better mother. Change my mother. Change my father. Change my teacher. Change my friends. Right? But I don't want to change because I am the center of the universe. Right? So instead of God is the center of the universe. So that is something that we have to evolve as time goes by. It has to be something like us listening to God and speaking to Him. So like our friends, we don't just for our good friends or somebody, we don't just talk, right? In the telephone conversation, just don't just talk. But some people might just do that. If you don't get to do anything. But in the conversation, it's very important to listen so that you actually get to understand the other person. So as we pray, we are called to listen to God as well. And one of the things that the Psalm says, in one of the Psalms, Psalm 95 says, for He is our God, and we are the people of His pastures, and the sheep of His hand. Oh, that today you would listen to His voice. So what is the second part to that? No. After, oh, that today you will listen to His voice. Yes, correct. So harden not your heart, right? So if your heart is hardened, you are so stubborn, you don't want to listen, you will not hear His voice. No. So be open, right? As we say in our YSS, right? Be open. So, yes, that's what Kobe is very good. Be open, right? You don't need Jesus to come down and touch your ears and be open, but we can be open ourselves, and can listen to His voice. You just need a desire to listen to it. Right. Okay. So one of the ways that we can listen, right, is to search within our inner being. So what does that mean? So people over the centuries, some of the saints and some of the prayer masters has told us, you can encounter God in different ways. One is to pray with Him and go within yourself, and another way is to see God in what is an exterior. But most of them agree that before you can actually see God in the exterior, nature and all that, No, you have to find God within yourself first. So, it's very interesting in the scriptures that actually Jesus talked about this in Matthew 5:6. So he said, whenever you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their rewards. But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees you in secret will reward you. So, it's very strange at that time, because in that time, you talk about houses, there's actually no common room, no private rooms. It's all a big common room where everybody stay and do their stuff there. Just one big living room, right? So maybe you have some curtains and all that. So, but there wasn't something what we know as a room that is yours. So what is Jesus trying to say to us? He's trying to say to us to go within ourselves, right? To search within ourselves and to find the Lord that is there. And He's like somebody who's always there in secret. And to meet Him there, and the Father will reward you with prayer. And it's not just like what Jesus does. He always goes away by Himself to some place and He prays. You know, He doesn't. It is not perhaps not conducive for Him as a human to pray out in the open. You know, just sit down there and slow down like that. You know, not conducive for Him. So maybe for us, it's not conducive as well. Right? We have to perhaps to get rid of the distractions that people are around us sometimes, and to try to go into ourselves in prayer. So to illustrate this, right? One of the ways that can illustrate this is, okay, the diagram. Okay, imagine the most outer circle, which I don't think can be seen now, right? Is your body, right? So your body. Right? Imagine it's round. Then, right, okay. When you look at me, you can imagine, right? It's round. Then after that, going within a little bit, you have your feelings, your emotions. And going within a little bit more, you have your thoughts, what you think. And after that, if you go in even more, right? You have that inner being, inner sanctuary, where you can find that God is residing here. So, okay, maybe I would just like to do an exercise now. So, on this, right? So, okay, so we will have, okay, so everybody, I will lower down the lights. Okay, so maybe we just try to find our inner sanctuary. Okay, I'm sure everybody has inner sanctuary somewhere, but you know, try to find. So everybody just close your eyes, right? As we go into this time, okay, knowing that the Lord is always within us. Okay. As we close our eyes, we are aware of the sounds that surround us. We are aware of the sound of the aircon, the sound that's outside the room, of the events that is there. We are aware of the sounds that's outside the church as well. These are the things that is outside and our body, and we are aware of them. We are aware of the sounds of the vehicle. Perhaps if we listen hard enough, we we are also aware of the stars of the night. As we place our restlessness outside, the sounds, all the things that we are aware of, and move in within us to be more aware of what we feel. Our feeling of joy or happiness, or feeling of worry or some sort of anxiety, or just a feeling of calmness that is within us. Let us be aware of this feeling that is in us. Let us be aware of all these feelings that is in us, and moving deeper, see the thoughts that is in us. The thoughts that is in our minds, thoughts about God, about work, about others around us, or even the thoughts about what we're going to do later. Let us be aware of these thoughts that is in us. Now, as
we are aware of the thoughts that is within us, let us move deeper into the center of our being, to the place that God is calling us, to the innermost place where our innermost being is. Let us imagine as we move into our inner being, we see a small house that is there. And we approach the house. So open the door. And we see that it is a room. We see Jesus sitting there, calling us to join Him and to sit with Him. And as we take our place and spend the time with Jesus, we listen to what He wants to tell us. And we speak to Him about our innermost desire. And as we speak to Him and listen to Him, see the loving face of Jesus, His attentiveness to us, and His loving gaze on us. As He holds our hands to comfort us and to reassure us. As the time draws to a close, we thank Jesus for this wonderful time, and remembering the place that He has called us to. And we walk out of the room, as we move out of the house, remembering where we have met Jesus, we begin to move out of our inner being and back to our thoughts again. And as we slowly move back to where our emotions are, so we once again to be aware of our body and our surroundings. Thank you, Lord, for this time that we have encountered you. Lord, help us to remember this time that wherever we are troubled, whenever we are in anxiety, whenever that we have difficulties and problems seem insurmountable, remember that in our innermost being, you are always there. And it is there that we can find the peace that you want to give us, the peace that the world cannot give, the peace that even in the darkest time that is always there. Lord, help us to always to go to you and encounter you frequently in our lives, so that we may come to you always and to take up that yoke that you have given us, charity and all that. But we know that the Lord is always there, and for those that feel that this is something that they can relate to, we can always go back to Him in this manner. It will not be easy because there will be a lot of restlessness within and all that. So especially if we come back from work and all that. So, but we can try to come back to Him every time, and we might not feel Him every time, but somehow we know that He's there. So I think that will give us some reassurance and encouragement. So one of the things that we really have to do is we really have to make time making a movement step. Time is important. We have to plan when we can pray better. As we try, we can try in the morning. If you're a morning person. I myself, I'm like a zombie in the morning. I will read the scriptures, but somehow most of the things I go through. But if it works in the morning, pray in the morning and stick to that. If it works in the evening, pray in the evening, but not too late, where usually most of you will sleep. So it is advised most probably if you pray better in the evening, maybe 9 or 10, but not just before you sleep. The place that is suitable for you. So maybe it might be your room, it might be the church, but find a place that you can pray daily, right? For example, you go to your room daily, right? So find a place. Church would be a very good place. For me, adoration room is always a good place. So, but I don't always come to church every day. So it's much better that you can find a special place that God really speaks to you. So for me, church is So find your place. The posture. Some people like to pray kneeling down, and they can only pray. They feel like they really relate to God kneeling down. And you can kneel down. You can sit. You can stand. You can prostrate by lying down. Okay, but usually you will fall asleep when you lie down like that. Okay, so for me, sometimes when I sit down, also I sleep. So that is. I remember when I was many years ago when I pray on a Sunday afternoon after choir practice, which is around 12. So I'll go to the adoration room in our church, and I'll be in the lotus position, so it's like cross-legged. So I'll pray. So for the first 10 minutes I'll be upright. So after that, for the next 2 hours my face will be my forehead will be on the floor. So I'll be completely flat. Then 2 o'clock I'll wake up again, then I'll go and So so to each their own posture, I'm not saying that, if you want to really rest in the Lord in some place, try not to snore, because other people might be praying. Right? So, you might like to, or some people it might be better if you you can jog and pray at the same time. So, sometimes that works as well. So the method, right, you could meditate upon the scriptures and see what is the word that strikes you. There are books on this, on Lectio Divina, that you can read on. Ignatian contemplative method uses imagination that goes into a scene where they encounter God, and being one of the disciples or one of the persons there, experiencing all the feelings and all that, and imagining God speaking to them and what they speak to God. So you could use that if that works for you in imagination. So try out different ways that might help you to pray. Some people might pray the rosary, which requires speaking and meditating at the same time. So some people feel that novenas to them. So some people might just pray by Eucharistic adoration. So to each their own spirituality. Right? Doesn't mean that in the charismatic friend group you can only pray in tongues, which is not true. But you can also pray in tongues in the adoration room, just not too loud, so that people will not be. I've seen it before. I mean, people have shared before, right? Okay, so there are times where we are in solitude. There are times that we are alone. So these are times that we are being tempted to feel that we are lonely. But this is also the best time that we can also relate to God. So in our present society, we sometimes don't have much time for solitude. But once we have, I invite you to go to the Lord instead of trying to find other things. When you have nothing to do, your mind will be like the devil's workshop. So if you can just read something that you feel that you can meditate upon. So that will help. And that is solitude is one of those times that is perhaps God's invitation to ask you to come to. So challenges, yes, we all have challenges. So the noise around us is one of the challenges. You live just beside the expressway, that will be a major challenge. But I assure you that you can get used to it, because when I was in NTU and we have mass, we have lion dance and all that. So it was very trying, but it was also at the same time the best time that we learned how to
deal with the noise that surrounds us and fully concentrate during Mass. So you can see, you can hear the noise which is around you, but you can see that there's no sound coming out from within the congregation that's in Mass. Everybody has appreciated and observed the silence, which can be very sacred even in the midst of noise. So that can also help in our prayer life as well. Hiatus, that is a common complaint that we have. So for me, it is usually the common excuse that I use, because I sleep late, I wake up early, and I'm tired throughout the whole day. So, and I drink coffee as well, and that makes me even more tired at night. So usually I'll just try to pray at night, just by lying on bed and say, oh my God, I'm so tired. So but that is not really a prayer. That's just like an excuse. So yeah. So one of the things that I have to do is to sleep earlier and to cut off from things that not make me sleep earlier. Laziness, yes, that applies to me as well. So because at work sometimes we have gone through so much things and all that. So sometimes we might be lazy to change our lifestyle. So so we have to perhaps to pray that God will help us, or we just have to keep our own bus and say that we have to do it, or to make some of our roommates to make us do it, something like that. So emotions. So usually when in life there are ups and downs. So sometimes in the workplace I am angry. So that will definitely stop me from praying, like yesterday. Right? So even if it's the solemnity of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, but I was very angry. Like, how do I pray? I can't really pray. I can just go to church and say, oh God, help me. That's all. And emotions are very real, but if we are used to praying, I think we can bring up these emotions to the Lord and let the Lord have that. Even though they are really with us, but to share the emotions with our Lord. Easier said than done. Yeah. So, and you can remember our mother in prayer, which is Mary. So today is the Immaculate Heart of Mary. So what happens today in the Gospel? So Mary and Joseph went to Jerusalem with Jesus, and after that they were a big family. So after that they thought that Jesus is with another relative, and they went back home. So after 1.5 days they were shocked. I have lost my God, So Mother Mary is like, so she was shocked, and she was like, oh no, what happened? So she went around, after she has lost her God, and her son, and it's very worrying. So she tried to find him. And eventually, after I think 1 or 2 days, she found her son in a temple. And what does she say? What does Jesus say? Jesus said, don't you know that I have to be there at my father's business? So it's like imagine your God tell you that, don't you know that I have things to do? And your son also is like, what is the shock that you're going to have? I don't know whether anybody can appreciate the shock, right? In our modern society, we'll just snap the shout or something. Then it's a God to see. But Mother Mary ponders all these things in her heart, and she meditates upon them. So, with all of frustration in our life, some of our colleagues might drive us crazy, and like at that age of insanity, right? So what do? You can smack that guy senseless, or you could go somewhere else in your inner room. So, try your best, right? I can't do it yet, but so always look at this picture and see how Mother Mary does. I can't imagine it. So, like what my friend used to say, make it a habit, right? Many years ago. So, time to form a habit is about 8 weeks. So, YSS has this prayer booklet. So, it's about 8 weeks. So, it is to really to help people to form a habit of daily prayer again, to really to go back. So, it has to start somewhere.
it has its initial periods of difficulties where you might find that it's difficult to pray, but it will take time and it will be easier as it goes along. Has somebody to pray with you? If your roommate prays, excellent. If he doesn't pray or she doesn't pray, drag the person and pray. Right? If you don't have a roommate like me, then call somebody or message somebody. Right? That will help. Prayer journal. So it's a book that you can write down your prayers and your thoughts, and you can evaluate your prayer, and you can just write to Jesus what you're going to write. So it's like a prayer diary and all that. So it will help because when you look back, it means like 7 days or 10 days, and it might help you to come back to prayer. So if you don't have the desire to pray, pray for the desire to pray. Very simple. If you cannot, then ask somebody to pray. So you can write a petition to Tommy. You say, Tommy, please, confidential prayer. So confidential prayer is pray for the desire to pray. So sometimes it was, but you must have faith, so you go. So and after that, if you feel that you have done quite well, but you can go for retreat, to help yourself to pray even better. So you can be overseas, even better. So like people like to go overseas, right? So and not local. Local because it's very boring. But everywhere is building and everywhere is fun. But if you go to Chiang Mai or you can go to Australia, if you have the money, then it might be a good time for retreat and to spend time with God. So, in summary, takeaway, we need to pray, because without relationship with God, everything we do can just be for ourselves and our own interests. We have to find that place that we can encounter God, right, in the inner being. And God is actually waiting for us, regardless of our challenges. And He's always calling us, be sensitive to that, in that calling, right? We can be very soft, but try not to ignore it and try to ask God to help you to encounter it. Okay, so now we have sharing. So very short sharing. Okay, how we're going to form the group is that, okay, we're going to do numbering. So 5 groups, okay, from K, can you count? 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1,
2,
3, 4, 5. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5. Okay, so. Okay, so these are the questions. Okay, group 1 and 2 will stay in here. Group 3, 4, 5 go canteen.